Most high-performing leaders don't burn out because they're doing too much. They burn out because their capacity is quietly declining underneath their performance. In this session, I'll break down the hidden signals of capacity erosion, why decision quality drops before performance does, and how to stabilize your system without stepping away from leadership. If you've noticed subtle shifts in your energy, focus, or clarity, this is for you. I'm Sherry Austin, registered nurse and executive longevity advisor. I help CEO founders and senior leaders protect decision quality and reduce hidden leadership risk as they scale. Most leaders think decision fatigue comes from doing too much, and it doesn't. It comes from losing the capacity to think clearly while still performing at a high level. You're still showing up, still making decisions, still leading. But if we're being honest, some decisions are taking longer, some feel heavier, and your clarity isn't what it used to be. That's not random. That's decision fatigue. In my 28 years as a nurse working in high acuity environments, I've seen this pattern over and over again. High performers don't slow down, they compensate. Decision fatigue is not about how many decisions you make, it's about the quality of your cognitive energy when you make them. When your system is under recovered, your brain prioritizes speed over accuracy. Your tolerance for complexity drops, and your decision range narrows, and you don't always notice it in real time. Decision quality declines quietly, long before performance does. How to recognize early signals. I'm going to give you 3 takeaways, and I want to leave you with how to recognize early signals, why high performers are most vulnerable, and how to stabilize cognitive capacity. So here's some early signals. Most people wait until they feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmment is not an early signal, but decision fatigue starts much earlier. This looks like simple decisions feeling heavier than they should. You delay decisions that you would normally make quickly. You second guess more than usual. You default to safe, familiar choices. You avoid complex thinking late in the day. That's often a reflection of underlying physiological instability, which we'll address in a moment. You default to familiar patterns. Your tolerance for ambiguity drops, and your curiosity for strategic thinking narrows. This isn't a discipline issue. This is a capacity signal. Most high performers are vulnerable because they don't slow down when capacity drops. They push harder. So instead of correcting the problem, they work longer, they take on more, they override fatigue. I want to leave you with this key distinction. Compensation does not equal capacity. You can still perform, but behind the scenes, cognitive efficiency is dropping. Your recovery debt is building, and your decision quality is narrowing. You're not operating at full capacity. You're operating on compensation because all of that load is being pulled from the same finite resource, your cognitive capacity. And let me tell you something, yesterday's capacity does not sustain today's demand. Takeaway number 3, you're probably wondering, how do you stabilize your cognitive capacity? I'm about to tell you. You don't fix decision fatigue with better time management. You fix it by stabilizing the systems underneath or behind your decisions. So I'm going to give you 3 anchors. I'm going to keep it real simple. Anchor number 1 is protect your decision windows. Don't stack high stake decisions back to back. Identify when your brain is the sharpest. For me, it's my first 60 to 90 minutes. It's reserved for high-level strategic thinking only. Then I step away, I reset for 10 or 15 minutes before moving into my creative work. And then after that, I move into my administrative tasks late in the day because those tasks require less cognitive capacity. Number two, I reduce, anchor number two is to reduce decision volume, automate or eliminate low value decisions, standardize where possible. For my business, I automate my workflows, I delegate tasks, and I utilize my SOPs. On a personal level, I either meal prep or I use a meal delivery service, and I outsource tasks that take away from my cognitive capacity. And anchor number three, increase your recovery inputs. Sleep is so foundational. So track your sleep quality, not just your sleep duration. Research has shown sleep efficiency, which is how restorative your sleep cycles are, is a stronger predictor of performance, mood, and longevity than duration alone. Take mental breaks between cognitive tasks. Like I said earlier, I take a 10 to 15 minutes. I like to reset by taking meditative walks, or I'll just fit in a gym sesh after my second cognitive uh, time block. These resets are essential to prevent your focus, it's important to prevent chronic fatigue, mental fatigue, chronic stress, and it helps restore attentional focus, which directly improves your productivity and performance and prevent cognitive overload. Also, nutritional stability. When your blood sugar is unstable, your cognitive performance is unstable. We focus on consistency, protein forward meals, minimizing insulin spikes and crashes. You're not trying to do more, you're trying to protect the quality of how you think. If you recognize even subtle shifts in your clarity, your focus, or your decision making, this is exactly where most leaders wait too long. And by the time it becomes obvious, decision quality has already declined. Because once decision quality starts to decline, everything downstream follows: execution, team performance, and ultimately results. This is the work I do. I help CEO founders and senior leaders stabilize their capacity so they can stay clear, decisive, and effective under pressure. If this mini session resonated, DM me clarity or book a private strategy call, and we'll identify exactly where your capacity is breaking down and what it takes to restore it. Thank you for your time. I will see you next week again on LinkedIn. Have a good night.